134 kilowatt hours. Ilibre na po natin yun 100%. Wag na po tayong magbigay ng ayuda. Wag na po tayong magbigay ng AKAP, ng AIX, ng tupad, ng kung ano-ano. Kasi nalulustay lamang po yung kinwento ko 2025 budget. Ano po, 194 billion pesos ang pinamigay lalong-lalo na po ng eleksyon. AKAP, AIX, tupad, MAIP, may kasama pang 4Ps. Mabuti pa po yung 4Ps, may guideline po yan eh. May conditionalities. Parang AKAP, Maria Josep na. AIX, tupad. Wala naman pong wala pong record na naibigay talaga. At wala ring record kung na-benefit talaga sila. 194 billion pesos. Pero kung halimbawa po, yung bill namin ng ating chairperson ma-approve as soon as possible, 234 kilowatt hours libre na. Wala pa pong 100 billion ang matitipid natin. So, wala pang 100 billion na magagastos natin. Wala pang corruption dahil diretso sa mga consumers. Wala pong magpapasikat na politiko. Sangayon po yung ating Secretary of the Department of Energy doon po sa bill namin. Wala pong masasayang, diretso sa tao. So hindi na po 20 kilowatt hours, dapat 234 kilowatt hours. Libre na po. Wala pong masasayang talaga. Makakatipid pa tayo. Imbes na 194 billion, baka 90 billion lamang po ang ating magagasta. So tipid na tipid po tayo. Tumatango po yung administrator ng National Electrification Administration. Alam ko sumasang-ayon po siya. Salamat, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair.
Yes,
We anything that would help our our consumers with lowering their rates, the DOE will support. When we were studying this lifeline rates, we targeted only 4Ps, for example. We'll work with the office of the good Senator MARCOLETA. Ang problem ng 4Ps, especially I think here in Metro Manila, nag-uupa lang sila or they live with somebody else lang and they're not the ones in the records of Meralco. So that's where we had a problem na hindi namin ma-include sila automatically. But if there's a mechanism in the bill, and I think that would work also. Just safeguards lang, ma'am.
but in terms of, and this might be a question that we'll need the input also of DSWD and DBM, no? But lucky for us, I chair the Committee on Finance Budget for DSWD naman. So madali naman natin ma-check kay Secretary Rex. I wanted to know the cost of this. And I'm looking at your sample illustration and dun sa 71 to 100% kilowatts, the undiscounted bill is 1,309. Ayan, ito, di ba? So if I will double that, kasi yung proposal ni Senator Marcoleta is 200 plus. Then that's, so 1,309 times 12 months, because this is a monthly bill, right? Is 15,700. So if I will double it, and it's more than double because he actually said it's 234, if I remember correctly, that's going to be 30,000 a month. For how many? For how many? For mga 4 million. So 30,000 times 4 million is 30,000 times 4. Sabi ng calculator ko, 1.2e to the 11th. Ano ibig sabihin nun? 120 billion. Ayun, kayang-kayang kunin sa flood control yan. 120 billion. Okay, anyway, it's good to have these numbers and it's good to have a starting point. I mean, if you can identify, kasi yun nga, si 4Ps at least identified siya, di ba? So it's something that we can think about. I don't think there's anything that prevents us, pero in terms of sustainability, mahirap to do something even within the budget. Kaya yan eh, we can do something. The problem is you'll have to keep doing that every budget. So it's really good that there's a law. It's going to be more sustainable. But if you have anything to add, then at least we've covered this topic also.
I'll just add na the first is the identification and the matching. We're trying to ano tawag dito, yung levels, no? Dito kasi may 100%, 50%, 35%. There's 4 levels. We're supposed to meet with ERC about this. I'm trying to simplify it na on the ECs outside Metro Manila, 1% lang siya, isang level lang siya, and in Metro Manila probably just 2. But we have to make sure that it does not also become a burden to our other consumers kasi this will be an addition to our electric bills. Yung mga sa lahat-lahat po na Pilipino nagbabayad ng electricity. So we're balancing that also, ma'am. But the objective is hopefully by November we have something more in place, and when the bill or the law passes on the subsidy, then we can just adopt some of that and transfer it to the lifeline rates. I think Chair Nino, ma'am, has something more to add to our
Yes, Madam Chair. The current design of the Lifeline program is on a per DU basis. That's why in the case of Meralco, you can see that we can actually extend discounts all the way up to 100 kilowatt hours. But for the electric cooperatives, especially in far-flung areas, actually the Lifeline program is only up to, say, 10 kilowatt hours. So we're looking at actually centralizing, imposing a universal rate, subsidy charge rate for all, but collection will have to be, proceeds of that will have to be collected by a central repository of the amounts. And then if we have a uniform Lifeline program across, say we can set the kilowatt hour threshold at say 50 or 60 kilowatt hours, which is corresponding to what can be considered already as marginalized. Then we have already, say, for that consumption, you have 50%, and then for half of that 30%, you can 30 kilowatt hours, you have 100% discount. Then you can actually have a uniform implementation, and whatever subsidy collections you get from the Meralco franchise areas, actually you are able to subsidize the consumption in the far-flung, like in the electric cooperatives, where the current Lifeline program is at 10 kilowatt hours. So actually you are able to capture and assist these marginalized customers in the electric cooperatives in the provinces. And we are actually expanding the coverage of the Lifeline program without adding burden to the subsidizers, the other consumers that are paying the Lifeline subsidy charge. We're ironing out the details with the Department of Energy, and hopefully we'll be able to actually implement it just by automatic, like what the Secretary has said. If we can actually extend this already automatically to those that are enlisted under the 4Ps, then that will also ease the burden of the current implementation of the Lifeline program, where they would need to actually register and qualify per DU.
Madam Chair, just for ano lang, our target actually is to finish this 2 Lifeline and net metering. We can report to you by November. Tapusin namin na yun yung ano, instructions that will finish this
So what's gonna-
by November, ma'am.
Going to
That's
ask
the target.
what is your internal timeline? Because all the data we need would basically come from you, no? So end of November. Sige, so while mid-November, so while we're doing the budget, maybe we can just catch up, and then if there's need for legislation, we can support. If it's just a budgetary concern, that we can also support during the budget process, no?
In addition to that, we are closely working with Meralco because it's our biggest DU. So by mid-November, we are actually scheduling, if the committee would like to attend, a launching of the whole new process for Lifeline and net metering.
Okay. Okay, thank you. All right, sige, let's proceed to the next item.
Thank you, Madam.
Thank you very much. May I request to proceed with the table on the committed capacity during the 2025 SONA. So part of that, next slide please. Sige pa po. It's a table. Yeah, thank you. So In response to the directive of the President during his HONA, we immediately convened our committees through the special order, wherein concerned units and staff and personnel were assigned to monitor keenly, outside of the regular monitoring, some projects that are committed up to 2028, while we focus on projects that may be completed by 2026. So with that, we have
Let's give the floor to Senator
What is
Marcoleta.
committed capacity?
committed capacity means projects that have already financially closed and contracted engineering, procurement, and consultancy services. So that means these are the projects in the pipeline.
How does it now pair with rated capacity and the dependable capacity?
We are still going on the installed capacity because this will be subjected to test to determine the actual dependable capacity once installed and operated. Yeah, thank you very much. So if I may continue. So we are actually monitoring around 196 projects with a total capacity of more than 12,000 megawatts. We also are monitoring keenly the installation of battery energy storage system that will also contribute in maintaining the reliability of our electrical grid system. And we have already some projects, next slide please, that have been completed as of October 2025, wherein we have monitored 900 megawatt capacity already in place and operational. Medyo mali lang po yung number. It should be 11 projects and not 10.